Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com, and this is the planetary picture. It's the Tao, the process, and it's the full moon today. So what do we see in this chart? Look at the colours. The colours give away a lot. So if you look at all the blue lines, or the blue dotted lines, they're showing a flow of energy. The red lines showing a contrast, a conflict, or some obstacle that needs to be looked at and getting over. And they create character. So we don't all want it easy peasy all the time. But first of all, where is the sun? Here it is in Gemini, 8 degrees. Full moon, it's always opposite. Here's the moon at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, Gemini and Sagittarius are an interesting opposition, because Gemini, that energy of Gemini, Mercury, governs the logical mind. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and this is the bigger picture. So we're looking at logic versus intuition. And this is our left and right brains coming together, as they always will with Gemini and Sagittarius. They also come together with Virgo and Pisces. Very interesting. So what do we want to look at and integrate at this full moon? It's of course the new moon is the potential, and here is the fruit. Well, Sagittarius, as I've just said, is to do with the planet Jupiter. So let's have a look at Jupiter, currently going through Scorpio. It's retrograde, that's the little R symbol there, going backwards. All planets apart from the sun and moon go retrograde every year. Not every year, so they go retrograde. Here's Jupiter, and then look at that beautiful flow of energy to Neptune in Pisces. Now, Jupiter is co-ruler of Pisces, so these two are great friends and very spiritual and very healing. They in turn are all connected at the top here to Venus in the sign of Cancer. So this is a grand water trine. Flow of energy, of emotions, of love, Venus, caring. In that sign of Cancer, Venus is about caring, being the mother and nurturing oneself. And maybe doing things that your mother taught you to do. I always say, my mother taught me how to make great scrambled eggs. So every time I make them, I think of her. You might have other memories, and hopefully they are happy memories. But mothering is something that isn't just to do with women, it's what men do too, it's nurturing. So it's a nurturing quality of Venus. Jupiter in Scorpio, because it's retrograde, it is going deep within. So this is very much about soul work at this time, at this full moon. And the soul's wisdom. Now I've entitled this Call to Adventure. But when I was looking for an image to represent this Jupiter energy in Scorpio, my image was one of reflection. And that's interesting, because full moons aren't usually to do with that. They're normally to do with going outward, being public, in the public eye. But when we go inside, when we go, what is my soul's wisdom? And how can I create my future? So that's the adventure. And it's a hero's journey adventure. So the other very important energy that hopefully you can all see, there's another grand trine. The moon is connecting to the north node of the moon, and it's not as strong, but it is also connecting across to Chiron. Now Chiron is now in Aries. It's healing the pioneer energy, that enthusiasm, that willingness to go first. And it's being helped by the moon. But it's also very karmic, because the North Node is involved. The other energy that you might also better spot is this. This is very interesting. This is called a rectangle. It's making up, there's the trine from the North Node down to the moon. And that's also connecting up to Mars, the South Node, and then back up to the Sun. It's also got two oppositions running. It's a cosmic rectangle, which is fascinating. You think, whoa, get your head around that one. But really what it's saying is we have an opportunity at this time for connecting to something deeper within all of us, some karmic signature that all all of us have, as humanity, inherent in our nature, in our soul. And Mars, you can see his Mars in Aquarius, the sign very much to do with humanity and all that we have created as humans and are responsible for, but also we can deal with it. Now, when Mars joins the South Node, which it will do this year, it's also about to go retrograde in June. We're now in what we call the shadow cycle of Mars. I promised it and I will deliver. I'm going to announce my next webinar on the Mars retrograde, and that will be on the 6th of June. So please sign up to my website and you'll get to know about it. And you know, there's a limited number of people, and people always enjoy my webinars. Okay, it's an hour long, it's deep, it goes deep. What else is going on? Well, Venus and Saturn are opposite each other. However, Venus is moving away. You see Venus in Cancer opposite Saturn. The other thing, though, about Saturn, it's in its own sign of Capricorn. It's very much about commitment, responsibility, the ability to respond. That's what that means. And it's at a focal point with the Sun and the North Node. Coming back to that North Node again in Leo. Leo is about leadership. So the Saturn is about responsibility in leadership, and the Sun is involved as well, the natural indicator of leaders. It's interesting watching what's going on the world stage at this moment with the North Korea, South Korea, the US. You know, all of these things are very significant in terms of peace for the world and leaders coming together. And another colleague of mine showed a wonderful blog post, an image of the North Korean and the South Korean hand in hand as leaders. You go, wow, we don't see that very often. The other important thing to notice, though, with this full moon is Mercury. Here's Mercury right at the end of Taurus. It will go into its home sign of Gemini. That's a good thing for everybody. At 00:48 British summertime tomorrow, Wednesday the 30th. Now, Gemini is Mercury's sign, so it's very good for communication now for the next roughly 3 weeks. So if you've been dilly-dallying, putting things off, procrastinating, Taurus is not known for going fast, it's a slow, fixed sign. Mercury then is like, wow, it's going to let loose. And all those ideas can now be brought out and manifested and bringing fruit, I would say. And it's a Gemini month anyhow, because we've got the Sun in Gemini. So to encourage you to keep that communication, keep all those communications going and putting energy into communicating, because now's the good time to do it. Have I missed anything out? Hopefully I haven't. I've covered all bases. Uranus in Taurus is just beginning. So it's one of those things that we watch what's going on in the world. And at the moment, I haven't seen any significant event apart from extraordinary thunderstorms and lightning in the UK over the weekend. Flash flooding. You know, that's very Uranian because lightning is very Uranus. And what does that do? Apart from cause a lot of damage, which it did do, but also it clears the air. So for Uranus as the planet of awakening with these storms, clearing the air, bringing those negative ions into the air, which you get if you're by the seaside. I live near the sea. So if you walk by the sea, you'll feel it, the fresh air. And that's what Uranus wants to do. Wake us up to new beginnings, very much to do with the physical, the body, what we love and appreciate about our planet, Gaia. And it is, of course, the season for the garden. And I've been enjoying mine and will be planting in the next couple of days. So those plants, those nurturing energies that flowers and plants bring us, that beauty is what Uranus is encouraging us to appreciate. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers, Healing Stars, and please sign up for my free webinar on Mars retrograde, which will be, as said, on the 6th of June, and it will be at 7:30 p.m. British Summer Time. So good night and happy full moon.